The modern world has trained us to see animals as mere biological machines, driven by instinct and existing solely for our convenience or entertainment. Yet, this materialistic perspective blinds us to profound truths that ancient civilizations understood intimately. When we observe a cat through the lens of spiritual science, as Rudolf Steiner's Anthroposophy teaches us, we discover something extraordinary. These beings are not random products of evolution, but conscious participants in the cosmic order, carrying within their essence a direct connection to supersensible realms that humanity has largely forgotten. The cat moves through our physical world while simultaneously dwelling in dimensions we can barely comprehend. Unlike humans, whose consciousness has become fragmented through excessive intellectualization, the feline maintains an unbroken link to what Steiner called the hierarchical beings, those spiritual intelligences that guide the development of consciousness throughout the cosmos. This is why a cat's behavior often appears mysterious or unpredictable to our rational minds. They respond to currents of energy, shifts in the etheric field, and spiritual presences that remain invisible to our dulled perceptual faculties. Consider how a cat enters a room. There is no hurried movement, no anxious scanning for immediate objectives as we humans display. Instead, there is a methodical assessment of the invisible landscape, the emotional residues left by previous occupants, the thought forms that linger in corners, the quality of life force that permeates the space. The cat is reading the akashic imprint of the environment, gathering information through sensory organs that extend far beyond the physical into what Steiner termed the astral and etheric bodies. This enhanced perception stems from their unique evolutionary position. While humanity descended into matter to develop individual consciousness and free will, cats retained their connection to the group soul consciousness of their species while developing a form of individualized awareness. They exist as bridges between the ancient wisdom of instinctual knowing and the emerging consciousness that characterizes our current epoch. This intermediate state allows them to serve as mediators between dimensions, translating subtle spiritual influences into the physical realm. The etheric body of a cat, that formative life force which shapes and maintains the physical organism, operates at a frequency that naturally harmonizes with the planetary rhythms Steiner described in his cosmic teachings. Cats are particularly attuned to lunar influences, not in the superstitious sense often portrayed in popular culture, but in the scientific spiritual understanding of how lunar forces affect the flow of life energies through all living systems. Their nocturnal activities, their mysterious disappearances during certain moon phases, and their uncanny ability to predict changes in weather or human emotional states all reflect this deep attunement to cosmic rhythms. What appears as aloofness or independence in feline behavior is actually a form of spiritual discrimination. Cats do not attach themselves indiscriminately to human beings. They evaluate the spiritual condition of potential companions, sensing the quality of their aura, the clarity of their intentions, and the state of their soul development. A cat will only establish a deep bond with a human whose energy field offers opportunities for mutual spiritual work. This is why some people naturally attract cats, while others find these animals remain perpetually distant or even hostile. The purring mechanism serves as more than an expression of contentment. It functions as a healing modality that operates through sound frequencies calibrated to promote cellular regeneration and nervous system balance.
When a cat purrs while resting against a human body, it creates a resonance field that can help dissolve energetic blockages, reduce inflammation, and restore proper etheric circulation. This is not mere coincidence, but reflects the cat's role as a
The goddess Bastet represented not just feline qualities, but the specific type of consciousness that cats embody. The ability to perceive across multiple dimensions while maintaining grounding in physical reality. Modern science dismisses such knowledge as primitive superstition, yet anthroposophy reveals it as sophisticated understanding of supersensible realities that our technological age has obscured rather than surpassed. The relationship between human consciousness and feline awareness operates through what Steiner identified as the principle of complementary evolution. While humanity developed the capacity for abstract thinking and individual will, we simultaneously lost much of our instinctual connection to the spiritual world. Cats, conversely, retained this connection while developing a unique form of selective consciousness that allows them to navigate both realms with remarkable skill. This creates a natural partnership where each species offers what the other lacks, forming a symbiotic relationship that extends far beyond simple companionship. When a cat chooses to live with a particular human, it initiates what can only be described as an energetic healing practice. The feline's astral body, that vehicle of emotion and desire that Steiner taught interpenetrates the physical form, operates as a filter and transformer for the often chaotic emotional emanations that humans generate through their fragmented inner lives. Modern people carry tremendous burdens of suppressed anxiety, unprocessed grief, and accumulated stress that create what anthroposophy terms astral congestion. These blocked energies manifest as physical tension, sleep disturbances, and chronic fatigue that conventional medicine struggles to address because it treats symptoms rather than their supersensible causes. The cat's presence creates what we might call an etheric climate control system within the home environment. Through their breathing patterns, their specific sleeping locations, and their deliberate movement through space, they establish energy circulation patterns that help dissolve these accumulated emotional toxins. This is why cats often position themselves on or near areas of the human body where energy blockages have formed, not out of random affection, but as precise therapeutic intervention guided by their subtle perception of the human energy field. The phenomenon becomes even more remarkable when we consider the cat's relationship to sleep and dream states. While humans sleep, their consciousness withdraws partially from the physical body, leaving the etheric and astral bodies in a vulnerable state of transition. During these hours, unresolved emotional content can create disturbances in the energy field that affect the quality of rest and the integration of daily experiences. A cat sleeping nearby serves as a guardian of this vulnerable threshold, using its naturally stable astral body to create a protective field that shields the sleeping human from negative influences while helping to process and integrate the day's psychic residue. The specific frequency of feline purring, ranging between 20 and 50 Hz, corresponds to what modern research has identified as optimal vibrations for bone healing, muscle repair, and nervous system regulation. Yet from an anthroposophical perspective, this sound serves an even deeper function. It creates what Steiner called a consonance bridge between the physical and etheric bodies, helping to maintain proper circulation of life forces throughout the human organism. When combined with the cat's natural biorhythm, which operates in harmony with lunar cycles, this creates a therapeutic environment that works continuously to restore balance to the human energy system. Perhaps most significantly, cats serve as teachers of what anthroposophy terms objective observation. Modern humans have largely lost the ability to perceive without immediately judging, categorizing, or trying to control what they encounter. The cat's method of awareness, alert, present, but without the urgent need to immediately act or analyze, models a form of consciousness that spiritual students spend years trying to develop through meditation and inner work.
This is the perfect moment to pause and reflect on your own experiences with these remarkable beings. Have you ever noticed how a cat seems to know exactly when you need comfort, appearing beside you during difficult moments without any apparent call? Have you observed changes in your own sleep quality or emotional state when sharing space with a feline companion? I invite you to share your own stories in the comments below, not just cute anecdotes, but genuine observations of moments when you sensed there was something more happening than simple animal behavior. Your experiences might help others recognize the deeper spiritual dynamics at work in their own relationships with these extraordinary creatures. And if this exploration of feline consciousness resonates with you, consider subscribing to continue our journey into the hidden dimensions of everyday life that Rudolf Steiner's teachings help us perceive and understand. The deeper mysteries of feline consciousness reveal themselves when we examine their role as guardians of threshold experiences, those liminal moments when the boundaries between ordinary awareness and spiritual perception become permeable. According to Steiner's investigations into the supersensible worlds, certain animals serve as natural bridges between the physical plane and what he termed the world of formation, where archetypal forces shape the patterns that eventually manifest in material reality. Cats occupy a unique position in this cosmic hierarchy, functioning as sentient antennae that detect fluctuations in the spiritual atmosphere surrounding human dwellings. This sensitivity manifests most clearly in their response to what Anthroposophy identifies as thought forms, those semi-substantial creations that emerge from human mental and emotional activity. Every intense feeling, every sustained thought pattern, every unresolved psychological conflict generates etheric formations that linger in the environment long after their creators have departed. These thought forms accumulate in homes, offices, and other spaces where humans spend significant time, creating what we might call psychic weather patterns that influence the mood, health, and spiritual development of subsequent occupants. The cat's astral sensitivity allows it to perceive these formations with the same clarity that we might observe physical objects. A feline will often stare intently at apparently empty corners, follow invisible movements with its eyes, or suddenly flee from areas where traumatic events have occurred. This behavior reflects not imagination or neurosis, but accurate perception of etheric residues that remain imperceptible to dulled human senses. More remarkably, cats possess the ability to neutralize many of these formations through what can only be described as conscious spiritual work. When a cat positions itself in a specific location within a home and enters that characteristic state of relaxed alertness, eyes half closed, body perfectly still, yet ready for instant movement, it is engaging in a form of etheric meditation. Through controlled breathing and precise attunement to cosmic rhythms, the feline consciousness creates what Steiner called spheres of influence, zones of harmonized energy that gradually dissolve accumulated psychic debris. This process requires considerable effort from the animal and explains why cats spend so much time in apparent rest. They're not simply conserving physical energy, but engaging in intensive spiritual labor that serves both their human companions and the broader cosmic order. The selectivity that cats display in choosing their human associations reflects their role as conscious participants in karmic relationships that span multiple incarnations. Steiner taught that the souls of both humans and animals carry imprints from previous Earth lives, and that certain spiritual tasks require collaboration between different types of consciousness across many lifetimes. A cat may appear in a person's life not through accident or convenience, but because ancient soul agreements are being fulfilled through their present interaction. This explains why some cats seem to possess almost uncanny knowledge of their human companions' deepest needs and fears. They respond not only to immediate emotional states, but to the karmic patterns that shape an individual's entire life trajectory.
A cat may consistently sleep on the left side of a person suffering from heart ailments, or persistently wake someone who tends toward depression during the crucial pre-dawn hours when spiritual forces are most accessible for healing work. These behaviors emerge from the feline soul's perception of its human partner's spiritual curriculum and its willingness to serve as a supportive presence during particularly challenging phases of development. The phenomenon becomes even more profound when we consider the cat's relationship to what Anthroposophy terms the group soul of its species. Unlike humans, who have developed individual souls capable of surviving bodily death and reincarnating with maintained identity, cats participate in a collective consciousness that preserves and transfers wisdom across generations. When a cat dies, its accumulated experiences and spiritual insights do not vanish, but merge with the species' group soul, becoming available to future feline incarnations. This means that the cat living with you today carries within its consciousness the accumulated wisdom of countless previous feline lives, including those that may have served your own soul in earlier incarnations. The recognition that sometimes flashes between human and cat, that sense of ancient familiarity that transcends their current relationship, reflects genuine soul memory of past collaboration in the great work of spiritual evolution that encompasses all conscious beings. The implications of this understanding transform our entire relationship with these remarkable creatures, from casual pet ownership to conscious participation in a cosmic healing partnership that serves purposes far greater than our limited personal perspectives can fully comprehend. The ultimate revelation of feline spiritual function emerges when we understand their role as mediators of what Steiner called the cosmic midnight hour. That crucial period in human soul development when the accumulated experiences of earthly incarnation must be transformed into spiritual wisdom. This process cannot occur through intellectual analysis alone, but requires the intervention of beings capable of facilitating the delicate transition between conscious and unconscious states of awareness. The cat serves as a living bridge during these transformative moments, offering its stable astral presence as an anchor point while human consciousness navigates the turbulent waters of inner metamorphosis. During times of profound life transition, death of loved ones, career upheavals, spiritual awakening, or psychological crisis, the human energy field becomes particularly volatile and vulnerable to negative influences from both earthly and supersensible sources. The materialistic worldview offers no protection against these invisible forces because it denies their existence entirely. Yet anthroposophical science reveals that consciousness exists within a vast ecology of spiritual beings, some beneficial and others potentially harmful to human development. The cat's natural ability to discriminate between these influences makes it an invaluable ally during periods when our own perceptual faculties are overwhelmed by the intensity of inner change. This protective function operates through what we might term resonance stabilization. The feline astral body vibrates at frequencies that naturally repel the types of spiritual parasites that feed on human emotional chaos and psychological fragmentation. By maintaining close physical proximity during vulnerable periods, cats create what amounts to a spiritual force field that prevents these negative entities from establishing a foothold in the human energy system. This is why many people report that their cats become unusually clingy or protective during times of illness, grief, or spiritual crisis. The animal is responding to genuine supersensible threats that require active intervention. The teaching function of cats extends beyond mere protection to encompass what Steiner identified as the development of imaginative consciousness, the first stage of supersensible perception that allows direct cognition of etheric and astral realities. Cats model this type of awareness through their unique way of being present without being possessive, alert without being anxious, responsive without being reactive.
They demonstrate the possibility of maintaining full engagement with immediate circumstances while simultaneously remaining open to subtler dimensions of experience that escape ordinary attention. By observing feline consciousness in action, humans can begin to develop similar capacities within themselves. The cat's method of non-attached observation provides a practical template for the type of inner stance that spiritual students must cultivate to perceive beyond the veil of material appearances. This is not passive withdrawal from life, but rather a more complete form of participation that includes awareness of the invisible forces that shape all visible phenomena. The reciprocal nature of human-feline relationships reveals another crucial aspect of spiritual evolution. No being advances in isolation, and the development of higher consciousness requires collaboration between different types of awareness. Humans offer cats opportunities to individualize their consciousness through sustained interaction with already individualized beings, while cats provide humans with models of how to maintain connection to spiritual sources without losing grounding in physical reality. This mutual exchange serves the cosmic purpose of gradually raising the consciousness of all Earth's inhabitants toward the goal that Steiner envisioned: a future epoch in which material and spiritual realities are consciously integrated rather than artificially separated. The profound implications of these teachings extend far beyond our relationships with domestic animals to encompass our entire understanding of consciousness, evolution, and spiritual development. When we recognize cats as conscious collaborators in the great work of cosmic evolution, we begin to glimpse the vast network of intelligence that guides and supports all life on Earth. This recognition naturally leads to greater reverence for all beings and deeper commitment to our own spiritual development as conscious participants in this universal symphony of evolving awareness. As we conclude this exploration into the hidden dimensions of feline consciousness, I warmly invite you to become part of our growing community of seekers who are committed to perceiving beyond the surface appearances of ordinary life. Subscribe to continue discovering the spiritual secrets that Rudolf Steiner's teachings reveal about the world around us. Share your own experiences with these remarkable beings in the comments below. Tell us about moments when you sensed the deeper spiritual reality operating through your feline companions. What insights have you gained? What mysteries have you observed? Your stories enrich our collective understanding and help others recognize the sacred dimensions of their own relationships with these extraordinary teachers who have chosen to walk beside us on the path of spiritual awakening.